Hello and welcome to week 13 of this 52-week movie review challenge. Unluckily for me, this is now the third time I've had to re-record all of the footage. But this time, thanks to the rule of threes, I've watched the Indiana Jones trilogy. As I'm sure you're probably aware, Indiana Jones films are a trilogy of films in the 80s, set in the 30s, that follow an archaeologist by the name of Indiana Jones on his varying adventures. These films are a great sort of action-adventure romp that harken back to the adventure comics of the 30s anyway. Like, for example, in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indy is basically trying to save the Ark of the Covenant from the Nazis. In Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, he's trying to save a couple of magical rocks from a guy that can tear people's hearts out and eat while they're still eating. And in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones is on a quest to find his father, who's on a quest for the Holy Grail, so it ends up being Indiana Jones on a quest for the Holy Grail. Also, along the way, Indiana Jones comes across various companions that come along and help him out on his journey, especially in Temple of Doom, where he has to deal with the whiniest shits I've ever seen on film. Now, I've always felt that using Nazis as the bad guys is a little bit of a cop-out, but, I mean, it is set in the 30s, and they were looking for various bits and pieces, so I guess it kind of fits that those are the bad guys, but it does seem very easy. That said, there aren't any present in Temple of Doom because it's sort of a prequel even though it came out afterwards. So it sort of got a bit confused with its timelines a bit as well. But the cult of the Kali, led by Mola Ram, I mean, somehow they make Mola Ram seem far more evil and depraved than any of the Nazis you see in any of the films, which actually is a pretty good achievement. I mean, Indiana Jones is an iconic action hero, yet he's actually an archaeology professor that just happens to do this on the side. So we sort of see all of the action bits, but never actually see him do any of his sort of office work. But I guess he's sort of like one of the original action nerds, I guess. Overall, let's see. I'm going to give Raiders of the Lost Ark 5, Temple of Doom 4, and Last Crusade 6. Just to try and sort of show that, you know, the series as a whole isn't too bad, but Temple of Doom is a fairly weak entry. Granted, it's got like a fantastic minecart sequence towards the end, but there are other action sequences in both of the other films that are also just as great. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark has that iconic sort of idle sandbag swapping scene with the rolling boulder and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so they're not bad to good, depending on which one you're watching. I just got to say that, like, I know I need to stop comparing these back to video games, but this whole time I was watching these three films, I wanted to go back and play Pitfall, the Mine Adventure. And it also reminded me of a board game I had in like the 90s. I think Forbidden Bridge, I think it was. I'll have to see if I've still got it. Anyway, thank you for watching this week's movie review challenge. Next week I will be attempting to review The Godfather, but keep an eye out the next couple of days as I will be posting an update video explaining the state of how we're going. Given we're a quarter of the way through the challenge, a lot of things have changed, so I will discuss those in a later video. But until that one, tally ho.